Once Upon a Page. Today we have special guest Patricia Bradley. She writes romantic suspense, and she is from the lovely state of Mississippi.
Right.
Right.
And I put most of my books in Mississippi.
Well, it's not a bad place to be. I lived there for like 3 years. So.
I think I drove through there once.
If you're going to Corinth, you have to be going to Corinth.
Yes.
You don't accidentally go to Corinth.
No.
Well, we are going to jump right in and
Yes.
ask you some questions, and then we're also going to let you tell us about what you're working on. If you're working on something, if you're not, that's fine.
Most authors usually are.
Or your most recent release, whichever one you want to share with us.
That'll be good.
Okay, is there an author, and they can be dead or alive, that you'd like to meet, and what would you ask them?
An author. I'll tell you, Leon Uris, he's passed, and I would like to know where he got his story for Exodus. That story, I read it when I was 15, and it has stayed with me all my life. And it is very moving, and it really drew me into the Israel story. And he has probably been my hero author, I guess.
Okay. All right. My question is, if you have 1 month and unlimited funds, where would you go to write?
Well, I would say Hawaii, except I wouldn't ride.
Well, you have to write.
So I would probably go to a deserted island that had electricity, so I could have a computer and no Wi-Fi. Because if you go, and I'm ADHD, so if I go to some place that I love, there won't be much writing done.
Yes,
so it has to
really
be.
good point.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone's brought that up yet.
No,
so that's
no.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
No, I'm not reading Ireland.
We all want to go to Ireland.
Oh, I do too, but I'm not to ride.
Not
That's
tonight,
right.
exactly.
Maybe we just need to take a trip.
I want to go to Hawaii, and I want to go to Alaska, but not to ride.
Right.
Okay, well that's going to lead into my question, which is, when you sit down and you're ready to write, what is one thing that you need, that you have to have to be able to write?
Computer.
A computer.
I mean, because I think on the computer, I started out writing longhand, but once I started writing on the computer, I actually started, when I wrote my very first short story, it was on a portable typewriter.
Nice.
And if that had been the only way that I could have written, there would have never been another book. Any books. So I like the computer, but and mostly it's just, when I sit down at the computer, my mind goes into it's time to go to work.
If you could read only one genre for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Romantic suspense. I love it. I just enjoy it. Not a lot of romance. I like the suspense part. And which that's my book. My books are generally 75% suspense and 25% romance. Because it's much easier to kill them than it is to kill them. Sorry.
That's awesome.
We can appreciate that.
Yeah. So what has surprised you most about being a writer?
How hard it is. The hard work. I mean, literally. And once you're contracted, before I was contracted, in order to finish that first book, I had to pretend I was contracted, because it's very hard to be self-disciplined when you don't have someone pushing you. And then, but then once I was contracted, it actually became like a job. It quit being fun, which is still fun, but it's like a whole totally different mindset. That you know that you have this contract that you have to fulfill, and that's scary sometimes.
Can I ask a kind of a bonus question? Bonus question. Yes, we do those sometimes. Sorry. So you mentioned the first book you weren't under contract,
Right.
and then the others. I I'm guessing you were under contract before you had them completely written, from what you're saying.
Right.
Is one easier than the other? Is one, because like right now, I'm under my first one where I'm contracted for it, that I've not finished it yet.
Same.
My others,
They were already done.
yes, I
It
did.
is different.
It's different.
It's a lot more pressure. But even now, I walk the floor a lot. I pray a lot, like every other paragraph. Because, and when I first started out, I was a plotter, and I would plot the stories out. And now, it's like I can't start writing about the character. I mean, I can't figure out who the character is until I start writing about them, and then they slowly reveal themselves. My writing has changed so much from the beginning, where I had it laid out, and that's the way. Now I send in a proposal for I write a paragraph for each story of what I'm proposing the book series to be about, and on this book that I'm finishing, the last book right now in that series, and I don't think any of them even resemble any paragraph that I wrote for them. Because, you know.
That's good to know. That takes off some of that.
But that's my publisher. I think with Harlequin, you have to do a detailed synopsis. My editor did not want a synopsis. She said, I'm your first reader and I want to be surprised. I don't want to know what this story's going to be, which was a blessing.
Oh yeah.
Because I never know what I'm going to write.
Same. Exactly the same. Okay, last question. What is something that would set your books apart from other books in your genre? What makes them different?
I think part of it is they're set in the South, and they're like this series is park rangers, National Park Service rangers.
Nice.
And there are not a lot of books set that way. The other series, the cold case series, they were cold cases, and that made them a little bit different. My first series, they were set in a small town, and I think that sets them apart.
Okay, so you want to take us a few minutes and tell us about what you're working on now, or if you had a new release lately?
Yeah, well, I have a release coming out November the 2nd, and I am reading at this conference the galleys for proofing, and I'm also working on the fourth book in the series, and I still have to write the ending. And I have no idea right now how I'm going to do that.
So when does the one that you're working on, the galleys for, come out?
It comes out November 2nd.
Okay, and what is it called?
Crosshairs.
Well, you know you're working on
I know,
one.
I do.
It's hard.
And I'm also promoting Obsession. So
Yes.
they get kind of muddled.
So November 2nd, Crosshairs.
Crosshairs.
Okay.
And then February, I think, or April, Deception comes out.
Okay.
And it's the final one in
It's
the
the final
series.
in the series,
Okay.
but I'm also have a new contract for 3 more,
All right.
which will be set in South Mississippi, unless we can move to the mountains. And it will be about a female sheriff.
Oh,
So you can get into her books,
yes.
and you will not have a shortage.
No,
Right.
She is just going and going and going some more. So
I have written since that first book was contracted in 2012. I have written 13 books.
So you have some catching up to do. Get them now, you know.
Two of them were romances, but I quit writing romances because they wouldn't let me kill anybody.
It is harder to kill people than a romance.
Yes. Definitely.
All right.
Thank y'all for having me, and hello everybody.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
We had so much fun.
It was fun.
Yes,
I always
I
love
loved
doing
it.
this.
And so don't forget to go and check out her books and
Yes.
check out her website. I'm sure you have one.
I do, and every Tuesday I have a mystery question on my blog for you to
Fun.
solve.
Oh, fun.
And it is 3 real crazy crimes and 1 that I made up, and you have to guess which one I made up.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
fun.
that does sound fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
www.patriciabradley.com or ptbradley.com.
Okay.
Awesome.
And we will put that
Yeah,
in
I
the
was
show
gonna
notes as
say,
well.
and we'll
Yes.
put it in the description. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe and to share this video with everyone you know that might be interested. And we will see you next time. Thanks.
Thanks.